I can't put into words
Just tell me where
what I'm feeling right now.
He is one of the original signers on the bill. So we wanted to talk to you guys and get your take on talk about how this started. Tell us about Dobbs' origins.
Go ahead.
Well, the back in 2018 or was it 17? You think I'd know, right? I'm kind of in an emotional roller coaster right now. But the Becky Curry, one of our fellow House members, female and a nurse, got her as the lead author, because who better can speak into a woman's issue than another woman. And then about half of our Freedom Caucus were signed on as co-authors, and a few others from the Mississippi House. And this has been one of those things where you don't know if it's going to live or die, because it suffers 1,000 deaths along the way. And the fact that it wound up here and the Supreme Court took it up was just like, you're on your knees praying that a favorable outcome would come out. And I can't put into words
Just tell me where
what I'm feeling right now. 64 million lives later. A whole lot of those, I think, wouldn't have suffered the fate that they'd suffered had this been overturned sooner. And, a lot of America doesn't realize that this doesn't ban abortion. What it does is it returns the power back to the states to regulate abortion. And I know going forward, some of your more conservative states are probably going to lock in on that and put together some measures that are going to be stricter, or maybe get rid of it altogether. And then you may have some liberal states that probably run headlong into it as sort of the counterbalance. But this should have been a state issue all along. It should not have ever been taken away from the states.
Question on that note. So you had said that this ban in Mississippi is 15 weeks, right? There was a smaller ban
Yes.
on the books. Can you tell us about that, and if you think there's going to be any chance of reviving that? You said it was an 8-week ban.
Yes. What I don't know, and this is a policy procedure kind of question I've got to find out on, but 2 years later we passed an 8-week heartbeat bill. It immediately had a stay put on it. It was one of those 1,000 cuts, 1,000 deaths. With this passage, a ruling passage from the Supreme Court, I don't know if that means, since it was signed into law by the governor, if it's alive again. Do we automatically go back to 8 weeks? I know that we've already been in communication with our speaker, and he's already setting up a commission to take a look at just holistically the whole, from foster care to adoption to what does that mean for previous legislation that may have died along the way because of the judicial system.
And last question for you. So you're in the Mississippi Freedom Caucus. You guys were up here kind of doing some communications type work for that. You mentioned to me that it felt serendipitous that this case, or it could be if the case came down today, it would feel a little like serendipity. And you're a pastor too. So just tell me a little bit about your feelings on that.
Yes, I mean, I was talking to some of my buddies here, and I was like, dude, you can't tell me that this wasn't like divinely orchestrated. That, I mean, to be here, probably the pinnacle of what will be my political career, I'm sure, and to be present for the decision. I've only been to D.C. a couple times, and I mean, the chances that everything would line up perfectly. I don't necessarily think that God did it just for me, but I just love the fact that He did it so that I could be here.